all these sounds of you chewing.
Bro, I'm hungry.
It's breakfast time for you apparently at noon.
Yeah, when you're in your high school, you gotta wake up at this time,
No, what are you talking about? You should be used to the grind of waking up at like 8 a.m.
Nah, man, I can't do that anymore. I just wake up whenever I want now.
Well, that's not the way to go about this. Anyways, guys, welcome to another episode of Instant Replay. As you just heard, our guest in the studio is Zain Iftikhar. And Zain is a huge basketball fan in general. He played for his Milton High School team.
Yes, sir.
And at the same time, he's following March Madness. Me and him also playing a fantasy league together.
Yikes.
Where I'm smoking him.
Let's not bring that up, please.
Yeah, we were just listening to the podcast right now, and we talked about pizza way too long, eh?
We did. Mickey's Pizza.
Mickey's Pizza.
Deep dish
They should sponsor
pizza.
us after this.
They should, totally.
Honestly, they should sponsor this podcast. Mickey's, shout out to you guys.
If it comes with discount, I'm down.
Because it was for you.
It was, yeah. It cost $100 for 2 pizzas.
Holy crap, but it's so good.
Worth it.
Worth it. Exactly. So, Zen, what do we talk about in this podcast in general?
Okay, we talk about NCAA.
Yeah.
Hypotheticals, if NBA players were in NCAA.
Yeah.
We talked a little bit about Devin Booker.
Oh, money, man. That guy can't miss.
Yeah, and fantasy with our fantasy.
And what's happening in that fantasy? Real quick.
quick.
Okay, fine. No spoilers.
All
no
right.
spoilers.
One spoiler, we're in the playoffs. Me versus him.
Yeah, exactly. So Zen is taking me on in the playoffs. So we do a little bit of back and forth, but sorry, Zen, you don't have much to say. All right, all that in this podcast. Hope you guys enjoy it. See you guys.
So Mickey's Pizza was freaking amazing.
Oh yeah, you liked it?
Saying, I loved it.
Deep dish.
Was
that your first time?
It was my first time.
Was that everyone's first time that you went with?
I think Amubai had it before.
Yeah.
But it
Bhaiya
was
hadn't.
Bhaiya hadn't, Bhabijan hadn't, Umar Bhai hadn't, and I hadn't.
Oh wow.
But
so you guys all loved it?
Yeah, we loved it. And before we went, it was like they told us it was $50 for 2 jumbos.
I can't believe the price.
And
it's
then
completely ridiculous.
Each topping was like $6, which was
I don't understand, but
ridiculous.
if you get the carnivore style, all the toppings are included in that price, no?
No, it's the $50 is the base fee, and like every meat that you add on is like a premium meat.
How big was one? Like, how many people do you think one jumbo could feed comfortably? 4?
4.
And you guys
3.
had
I'd say 3.
3?
3 people could finish a jumbo.
No, you guys are just fat.
And we had 5 people.
Because me and Maha, when we eat,
yeah.
We had the one small, and that was good. Like the one personal or small, whatever you want to call it, and that was
the
more
baby
than
one?
enough. The baby one.
Yo, the jumbo has 4 babies in it.
That's the size?
Each
That's what
jumbo.
they said?
So 2 jumbos has 8 babies in it. So
Yeah.
we did the math. So all of us had to have
How many slices did you
1.6 babies.
Okay. That is such a weird stat.
I
Okay,
had 4 slices. Everybody else had 2.
everyone else had 2, and you had 4.
Bhabijan
How did you
Bhaiya
have
had
4
2.
deep dish slices.
Bhabijan Bhaiya had 2. I think Amu Bhai had 3 actually, and Umar Bhai had 2.
That's weird, man.
It's protein, man. Can't complain.
Do you say it's protein?
The meat one is
Are you kidding me? There's so much space in that just completely fills you up.
factual.
Factual. Cool, man. So, Zenu,
What's up, man? We at Instant Replay here.
we out here?
DJ Khaled.
No, that's not what we do here at all. We the best.
We the best music.
No, man. So you've been watching. I know we've been chatting a lot about March Madness.
We have like over WhatsApp.
Do you normally watch March Madness? Like, is that like a thing for you, like every March, or is it just this year you've really gotten into it?
I started watching March Madness about 2 years ago. And last year I got into it, but this year is where I'm into it. Like I'm really watching all the games.
Yeah, me too. This is the first year that I'd probably say I'm really into it, and obviously everyone makes a bracket at the start. My bracket is nowhere close to accurate at all. I don't know if yours is going well.
My bracket broke down in the first week, in the first couple games actually.
What was
I
the
broke my
first game to
bracket.
break?
My first game to break, I actually said that Virginia was gonna win, but it lost.
Gotcha. No, to be quite honest, but who do you have winning the whole thing?
I have Gonzaga because Gonzaga's.
So you're still in it.
Yeah, I'm
Technically.
I'm still in it.
Guys like us that pick Duke, that pick Duke to win it all.
Duke, man.
Bad
Duke's,
choice, eh?
Yeah.
Bad choice.
Real
Though
bad.
now I think North Carolina's gonna win it, which is so ironic because Duke North Carolina rivalry.
Yeah.
You know
for sure.
what I mean? But
For sure.
I think today's matchup's gonna be really good.
I think everybody's bracket also broke down when Oregon joined the Final Four.
Yeah,
because
Oregon
Oregon's a
just last
third-tier
night
team. Yeah,
just knocked out Kansas, which was a huge upset.
for sure.
Now Bill Self is gonna have some serious problems because apparently his record now in the Elite Eight
Yeah,
is 2-7. Isn't that crazy?
for Elite 8, 2 and 7 is it's bad. You know, for
Yeah,
a team like that.
It's terrible, to be quite honest. And you know, for a team like Kansas, which usually is either 1, 2, or 3 seed every
Yeah.
single year,
This year they were first.
that means exactly this year they were first, and you know that just proves out to me personally that you know that team is really struggling when it comes to the games that matter most. What's weird is though when you look at like other situations like Villanova,
Yeah,
which was the first, I'd probably say the first real upset where they faced South Carolina and they got knocked out.
yeah.
That was the first real upset to me that triggered everything.
That's true. But sorry, going back to Kansas.
Yeah.
I'm saying Kansas was first
Yeah,
and Oregon was third. But
yeah,
but their records, Kansas was 31-5 and Oregon was 33-5. Right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess you're in different
So then you really
levels.
count that an upset, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not really an upset. I mean, like the thing about March Madness versus the NBA playoffs that I always love for March Madness is it's strictly gonna come down like players are. I mean, when you have the Cleveland Cavaliers or something, right? You know they're that much better than every other team in the conference.
for sure.
But for March Madness, that doesn't really matter in terms of talent. It really comes down to the level of coaching,
Right.
in my opinion, right? Because you see upsets constantly, right? South Carolina knocks out Villanova. Who knocked out Duke? I don't remember. Duke got knocked out. You know, there's teams that are constantly that are number 1 seeds that keep getting knocked out,
Yeah.
right? And now, for instance, Kentucky versus was it UCLA? That was a huge matchup.
UCLA, man. I think UCLA's game was a bigger game than it should have been because of everything with LeVar Ball and
You didn't
his
think
son.
UCLA is that good of a team? I mean, they're still third.
They're good, but not as good as people think. Everybody's like, "Yo, UCLA."
Okay. Then what do you think of Lonzo Ball in general?
Lonzo Ball is a good player.
Yeah.
But everybody's like, "Oh, it's Lonzo Ball. He's the next biggest thing."
Yeah.
But
Do you think he's the next biggest thing?
I don't think he's the next biggest thing.
What? Okay. So if you were to pick him and put him against an NBA player, who do you think he's gonna be closest to? Not game wise, but just impact level wise. Like, is he gonna be? I'll give you some examples. So is he gonna be like a LeBron James coming into the league when he's gonna be averaging 20 points a game, 7 assists, that type of thing, or is he gonna be like a Tyreek Evans when he came into the league? When he first started and then kind of has tapered off.
Yeah.
What kind of player do you think he's going to be starting day one? Because his dad thinks he's going to be better than Steph Curry.
Yeah. Well,
Now.
I think the best way to compare him would be to Steph Curry, but not to that skill level. I'm saying
Okay.
Steph Curry, when he entered the league, he was a known player. Everybody knew who he was.
Davidson,
he was
yep.
a good player.
Yeah.
But he wasn't like, wow. He was just,
wasn't what he is now.
Yeah.
Nowhere close could
Definitely
we predict
not.
that.
And I feel like when he's going to enter the league, it's
Yeah.
going to be like he's there, but he
Yeah.
doesn't have that big of an impact. I'm not saying he's going to be like as good as Steph Curry. I'm just
Sure.
saying that's how he's going to be coming into the league.
So if he comes into the league, do you think he has? What do you think about his shot? Let's talk about that.
It's
You've
the
seen
worst
his
form
shot.
I've ever seen, man. I'm not
It
gonna
is,
lie.
right? I think for me the worst form I had ever seen was Sean Marion back in the day.
Yeah.
Right? Sean Marion had the worst form, but it worked. But this guy's got a terrible form, but it seems to be working. So would you ask him to change it in the next level?
You can't. How do you ask somebody to change their form like that if they've been playing for that their whole entire life?
Basically 20 years he's
you
been playing
can't-
ball.
Yeah, and if he changes his form, who knows how his game's gonna be?
Yeah.
It's gonna
So
be
that UCLA is now out. I mean, LeVar Ball is nowhere to be found now, right? Like, he's nowhere to be found. And so now let's see, UCLA is out. Who do we have left? Really, the two powerhouses right now, North Carolina and Kentucky.
Yeah.
Who do you have those guys? They're playing tonight, obviously.
I have North Carolina.
North Carolina, okay.
Because I'd honestly say with everything happening, it's just the way it's formed out is that based on their record, North Carolina will come up on top.
Gotcha. So I think to be quite honest, it's going to be probably the best game so far. I think it's going to be extremely close. But in my opinion, North Carolina has the right level of athleticism to take down Kentucky. I don't think Kentucky has the right level of coaching. I always say this about John Calipari. John Calipari is a great recruiter.
Right.
Every year, like we go back to his days. Did you know? So I watched this Bleacher Report special. I think it was Bleacher Report or Vice Bleacher Report, and I watched this special where they talked about the team that went perfect until the Elite Eight basically, and when they got knocked out, this is the team that he was able to recruit. Okay, John Wall,
okay,
DeMarcus Cousins, okay, Eric Bledsoe coming off the bench,
wow,
Patrick Patterson, okay. That was the team. They had 4 solid NBA players.
Right.
That's unreal. And then he's had a separate team with Anthony Davis on it. He's had separate teams with the guy who just dropped 70 points. Devin Booker is a Kentucky player. You know what I mean? Like, he's had all the talent in the world, yet he's we actually pulled this up. I'll pull it up again, but the number of championships that Kentucky has is not as high as you'd think.
As they could have had.
As they should have had.
Correct.
And I think that's because John Calipari is not the best with X's and O's.
Yeah.
Bill Simmons on his podcast, I was listening to his podcast, Bill Simmons said recently, and I want to know what you think about this. So Brad Stevens, when he was at the college level, Brad Stevens, the Boston Celtics coach, former Butler coach.
Yeah.
They said he was like a genius when it came to X's and O's.
Okay.
John Calipari, I don't think he's that.
Well, you're looking at, so for example, John Calipari, he's when he has those players, I don't think he knows the certain value of the players.
Yeah,
right?
like how to use them.
Because not only that, but like you have your players on the team, but you don't know how big they're gonna be.
Sure.
Right. So like in the NBA right now, for example, John Wall, as you said, John Wall's an amazing player. He's big in the league right now.
23-10 right now this season.
Yeah, but
crazy?
Did he know? Did John Calipari know that when he had him? Did he know he'd be that big?
Yeah, I know. I agree with you. Maybe he doesn't understand the value at that point in time, but who knows? Anyways, so we got that matchup coming up, Kentucky versus North Carolina. So I think North Carolina is going to outcoach the crap out of John Calipari and the Kentucky Wildcats. So I'm going to pick North Carolina comfortably. The Tar Heels are going to win this one.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Who else do we have? On the other side, we have South Carolina, I think, facing
South Carolina and Florida. Yeah.
Did you see the Florida win?
I did see that. Florida was that was 65-39 with Virginia. That was nuts. And it wasn't even like 1-8. It was 4-5.
Yeah. So that's an interesting matchup on that side. I think that's going to be fun to see. Let me ask you this hypothetical question, okay? If I saw this on another article of somewhere, but if LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, okay, so LeBron James, if he went to a university, he said he would go to Ohio State, okay? Kobe Bryant, he said if he was going to go to a university, he would go to North Carolina, okay? Dwight Howard said if he was going to go to a state, he would go to Georgia Tech or Georgetown. I can't remember which one of those. Okay. And who else is there? Kevin Garnett. I don't know which school he'd go to, but if he was going to go to a school, who do you think, basically my question is, who do you think wins the NCAA championship out of the guys who jump straight from high school into the NCAA? So there's
LeBron James.
Okay, that's the obvious one.
No
Why?
question about that. Because you look at the impact LeBron James had. Well, you could either say LeBron or Kobe. Because when LeBron first came to the league, straight out of high school, he killed it.
He did.
First season.
20 points.
But then again, Kobe also did really good in his first couple of years. Like he
did okay, to be quite honest. I think it's more so because he didn't get as much playing time as LeBron did.
Yeah, that's true. But like LeBron, he was like an Andrew Wiggins, right? He came into the league and everybody expects him to do a certain amount. And he was the only player on Cleveland, right? It wasn't like there were other big players on Cleveland. So his impact was the biggest. And I feel like if he was to go to college, he would definitely take his team to the NCAA championship.
Okay, you know what's funny is I've been asking people this question throughout the week, and everyone naturally instantly goes LeBron James. But do you think? So yeah, I agree with you. I think LeBron can play in any system.
Yeah.
Whichever school he goes to, he'll just be that good, to be quite honest. And I think he would have won the NCAA championship. Okay, let's take LeBron out of the equation. Next three. So we had Kobe, we had KG, we had Kobe, KG, and we had Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Okay, so who wins the NCAA championship between those three?
I'd have to go with Kobe. Only
Really?
because
Okay,
only
let's hear it.
because when you had Dwight Howard,
Yeah.
and you had who's the second guy?
Dwight Howard, KG,
KG.
Kevin
But
Garnett.
it's hard to carry a team when you're a big guy. You know, when you're a guy who can put up shots,
Right.
it's much easier to carry a team because you could put another big guy inside, right? When you have KG or Dwight Howard, it's hard. You don't know if you're gonna get the ball. You know, you could create the plays to get open, but are
Right.
you gonna get the ball there?
Right,
Does
but
the point guard know?
do you think that the NCAA game in general is meant for players that are one-on-one players? Because Kobe Bryant is a pure one-on-one player.
Right. NCAA, yes, because if you think about it this way, all the players that are playing in NCAA, their lives are on the line. If they play
Right.
well, they get into the NBA, right?
Right.
So a lot of the game is ISO, is
Totally.
one-on-one because they need to show off their skills. To
Yeah, to a
take
certain
it.
extent. I mean, like if you, so I was talking to a buddy about this. De'Aaron Fox from Kentucky just dropped 39 points when he was facing Lonzo Ball, and I think he did that on purpose, to be quite honest, because he took it as a personal challenge
Right.
against Lonzo Ball. So they were both guards, and I think he was like, okay, this guy's supposedly quote unquote the number one pick. He's not. He's gonna probably be number two. The guy out of Washington is gonna be one. I can't remember his name. I should look it up. Anyway, so he took that as a personal challenge. Dropped 39 points to knock out the Bruins. It was pretty impressive, man.
Right.
But yeah, you look at players. They always take it at one-on-one. I don't know. I don't know in terms of the game in general, NCAA, if it would be good enough for it's a system game, and Kobe Bryant is a one-on-one player, and he's
Yeah.
the ball in his hand 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so then we narrow down Dwight. Well, how do you think Dwight does? Because that's controversial, right? Like, does he want it? Does he not want it? That's always in question. Do you think he gets it in the NCAA? He's a physical beast. Regardless, there's no big that can guard Dwight at the college level the way he's built.
That's true. But if you look at it this way, Dwight was a big guy, and he was dominant when he was playing in Orlando, right?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
that wasn't from his first year.
No.
Right? It
no.
took him a while to get into that phase and get into the beast mode. But the question would be, would he be able to do that in his college days? And if he would be in that beast mode, if he had that mentality in college, there's no limit, man. Sky's the limit.
Yeah, you're totally right. And but I don't think he is. So he's always had the physical gifts.
Yeah.
But I think it's a mental issue with him, man. What do you think? It's got to be, right? What do you mean maybe?
Because Dwight Howard, he's a smart player. You gotta admit, he makes some dumb decisions sometimes.
I disagree.
He makes some dumb decisions sometimes, but
all the time.
He has the IQ, right? He knows what he's doing when he's
Does
playing.
he?
He does,
Okay.
because he's had so much experience playing as a big guy.
Okay.
I mean,
I'll
he's
give
got to learn
it
something.
to you. I don't think he has any IQ. I think he's just a pure the way I love when Charles Barkley and Kenny and Shaq get on him, because they're like, yo, this guy doesn't even know. He's like 7 years in the league, and he doesn't more now, but when he was in his 7th year in the league, he's 7 years in the league, and he doesn't even know how to post up. That's not how you throw elbows. That's not how you do certain things, And these guys are obviously Hall of Famers. They know exactly. Like Shaq knows how to post.
Yeah, Shaq's the king.
Charles Barkley's the king. Knows how to post.
Yeah.
All these guys are post players. They made their career in the post. And this guy, they just look at him. They're like, what the heck is this guy doing?
But here's a question for you.
Yeah.
How would Dwight Howard do against somebody like Shaq or Charles Barkley in the league when they're both in their prime? Would he get schooled?
I think Shaq would crush him. I don't even think it's close. Like
Shaq has IQ too, though. That's the thing. He has a lot of IQ.
Shaq is a smart player.
Yeah.
Shaq is also the only guy that physically would bully Dwight Howard too. You know what I mean? Like nowadays game, there's no one that can bully Dwight Howard.
Yeah.
Right? Big wise, like physical wise, not mental wise, like physical.
Yeah.
Right? A lot of people try to bully Dwight mentally, right? Kobe, KG, everyone. We've seen them
KG.
get into tussles with him.
Yeah.
But I've never seen someone get into a tussle with Shaq without actually like feeling the consequences. You saw Charles Barkley try to swing at him.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
both went
yeah.
MMA style, straight to the ground. You know, like you see that all the time, but I don't see anything like that with Dwight.
Dwight, yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
But I mean, this tournament is built strictly based off, players that you don't know. You're starting to hear their names. You know what I mean? Like this tournament is meant for people to move up their lottery stock when it comes to the draft.
For sure.
Right? So, like, who knows in terms of where they end up. You have Gonzaga. I don't know how have you watched all of Gonzaga games?
I have, actually.
So, what do you think about Gonzaga in general?
So the backstory is I like literally when I first got into NCAA, the first team I turned on the TV and the first team I saw was Gonzaga, and I was like, hey, this is a good team.
Is that how you picked them?
No, wait.
Oh, first team? Okay, they're gonna win.
No. So I said when I started watching NCAA, I started watching a little more Gonzaga games because that was the first game I saw. I was like, I'll keep a close eye on this team. And the teams were Gonzaga and Kentucky. Those were both teams that I was watching closely because Kentucky had a perfect season that year, right?
Right.
And I was watching Gonzaga closely, and then last year I was like, all right, I watched Gonzaga last year. I'll watch Gonzaga this year too.
Right.
And I watched Gonzaga's game last year, and I was blown away. I was like, this team.
Last year you were blown away.
Last year I was blown away, but they didn't even make it to the Final Four last year.
So this is the first time they've made it to the Final Four ever in their school history.
Yeah.
Which is kind of shocking that you picked them because no one, even though they're one seed, doesn't mean much, to be quite honest, because they keep getting knocked out.
Right.
So I'm surprised you were able to pick them, and that this is the same year they made it to the Final Four.
I feel like Gonzaga has easy teams in their league, right? They're first
in their
seed
division
because,
for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
That's always the case, and so, but realistically, I mean, they're coming up against now real teams, and they seem to be not walking through them, but at least beating them.
Yeah.
And so from my perspective, that's a great pick. I'm shocked that you were. I was thinking Arizona might go further. They got knocked out.
Right.
Like there's so many upsets. Duke got knocked out. Oh, that was the biggest one to me.
Duke and
that was
Villanova.
early. That was early, though.
Duke.
That wasn't even a Sweet 16, man.
They lost to South Carolina by 7 points, and South Carolina is 7th seed.
Yeah, I know, but the point here is that didn't even happen in like the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8. That happened in the round of 32.
Yeah.
To Duke.
Yeah.
Which is shocking. You know what I mean? Because last year Villanova won, but the year before that Duke's the pre-defending champions.
But
you know what I mean?
But if you look at the records, on the other hand, you got 28-9 for Duke and 25-10 for South Carolina, right?
Yeah.
So South Carolina was 7th, but were they?
Yeah.
If Duke was in that league, it would have been different.
Yeah, I agree. It might have been different. You know what's funny? I got a funny story. I don't know if you watch March Madness at home with people, but for me, I was watching March Madness with my wife Maha. And I'm watching March Madness upstairs.
Right.
And we're watching 20 minutes into the game. We were watching yesterday's game. Or, sorry, not the yesterday's game. We were watching the UCLA-Kentucky game. Kentucky game, yeah. So I had to watch that no matter what. Yeah. Watching that. And 20 minutes into the game, Ma goes, wait a second. I've never heard of these teams. And so she's like talking from the perspective of NBA. I'm like, yeah, that's because this is the NCAA. And she's like, wait, what? And she was just in awe at how, one, glamorous it is in terms of, the cheerleaders and the mascots and all the school spirit. And it's just packed audiences. Like, it's an arena that's the size, bigger than our ACC pretty much here for the Toronto Raptors. It's bigger than that. They've got more students. They're probably charging as much, if slightly less, for the tickets. Right?
You got to give it to NCAA fans, man. These guys are diehard fans. Their teams, the team they follow, they'll do anything. Like, I went down to Florida to see some family. Yeah. And these guys were Gators fans, and they were Gators fans. Like, they're not just like, hey, yeah, I like to watch the Gators. They were Gators fans. They had Gators flags.
Yeah, they're diehard, about everything. These sports. I know for football is like a religion down south. But clearly, NCAA basketball is not too far off from that either.
For sure.
And when March Madness, so this was a crazy stat. I was talking to my buddy Atif.
Okay.
Crazy stat, okay? Think about this math, okay? I want you to think about this math.
Okay.
So, if you look at the NCAA March Madness and the amount of ad revenue they get, okay? So the amount of televised ads that they get paid versus NBA playoffs, who do you think gets more money?
Well, I would have said NBA, but...
Right? You would have said NBA.
Yeah.
But no, it's NCAA March Madness gets more ad revenue. So there's more people interested, more companies interested in putting up ads to, television broadcasters, giving them money for NCAA March Madness versus the NBA playoffs. That's shocking. Then when I heard that, so it's by 200 million. 200 million more.
200?
200 million more.
Wow.
That's some serious cash.
That is NCAA?
NCAA. And that's shocking to me. And then if you look at, then you look at, like, I told one of my buddies this while I was at work, and we're like, no, that doesn't make sense. Let's do the math. Okay? So there's more opportunities. His theory was there's more opportunities in March Madness. You start with a round of 64. There's more games. No, that's not true. If the NBA playoffs average 5 to 6 games on average every series,
yeah,
you end up with more games in the NBA playoffs. So you get more opportunity in terms of games that are nationally televised, because the round of 64 isn't nationally televised. You know what I mean?
It isn't.
It's not. Not every single game is.
Right.
The big ones will be, but not every single game is. So round of 32, it starts getting nationally televised, and then Sweet 16, Elite 8, everything. Round of 32 is still nationally televised too. But if you just look at that and you compare NBA playoffs, every single NBA playoff round series, whether it's 1 and 8, seeds 1 and 8, whether it's 2 and 7, doesn't matter. Each conference, they're all nationally televised. So you think the NBA playoffs is a better ad opportunity for someone because, whatever reason. But clearly,
in
March
the States
Madness
though,
is something
especially
else.
because here,
That's what I'm talking about.
Here, I feel like when you say, I was just watching NCAA, somebody would be like, "What NCAA? That's weird. Why are you watching
You're
NCAA?"
totally right. You're 100% right.
In the States, it's just a whole different thing. It's like NCAA. You watch NCAA too? Wow.
Oh man, I was at the airport one time, and this is last year roughly. I was in Denver at the time, and Oklahoma. This is when Buddy Hield was going off last year and during March Madness. Okay, and Oklahoma. He played for Oklahoma, and basically he was going off, and I could just see 3 Oklahoma fans wearing their Oklahoma gear. I think they were facing Baylor, wearing their Oklahoma gear, just looking at the TV. This is in the airport, public, standing and cheering for their team. And I'm like, wait, there's no Canadian college sport at all that I could say this happens for.
Right.
And that's when I kind of had that light bulb moment where I was like, holy crap, this is a huge deal here.
And you look at like universities here, and it's just like, you play basketball for them, but it's just like, is it more intramurals or is it like basketball?
So me and Atif have this debate that usually goes on where Atif thinks high school basketball teams in the U.S., like the top tier high schools in the U.S., could take on our university basketball teams. What do you think about that?
Nah.
No, right? Like, let's be real.
Let's be real.
Except
here.
maybe LeBron.
Yes.
In grade 11 could probably beat any player here in Canada, right?
Well, if you look at it this way, high school games in the States is much bigger than it is here. Like here, I played for my high school team. It was like I didn't even see a spotter there. It was just like, yo, come on, you spot me, man. But like in the U.S., high school basketball is big, but you're looking at a totally different skill level. Like if they got the same fame here, the university players, I'm sure they would be as big as NCAA.
Yeah, no, well, I don't think we have the market, one.
Correct.
We don't have enough schools.
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, skill-wise, they're good. They're good players, too. You got to give them that.
Hey, man, that's what I tell him. He thinks skill-wise it's not even a close comparison.
Yeah.
He has, so I always get thrashed about that because of the skill level. But I don't know, to be quite honest, man. Realistically, March Madness is so who do you think is gonna win in now? So who do you think is winning? So you pick Kentucky, right?
I pick Kentucky.
Okay.
No, I picked North Carolina.
Oh, you picked North Carolina.
Yeah.
Oh, no, you picked Kentucky.
No, I said North.
You picked North Carolina. Okay, so we both are going North Carolina.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So North Carolina is in the Final Four.
Yeah.
Then you're gonna have on the other side, you're gonna have South Carolina's facing Oregon's in the Final Four as well.
Oregon, Gonzaga.
Yeah, Gonzaga's in the Final Four.
Yep.
And then today, the other side is South Carolina taking on
Baylor. No, it's not
Florida.
Baylor.
Florida. Yeah. So who do you think wins that game?
You gotta give it to Florida, man.
I'm going South Carolina.
Really?
Comfortably.
The way
they knocked out South Carolina is the one that knocked out Villanova. I think they're playing with a lot of confidence right now. I think they're gonna be able to win. Okay, so now we got our Final Four. We got South Carolina. We got North Carolina. Ooh, that's a matchup.
That is.
We got South Carolina, North Carolina. We got Oregon, and we got
Gonzaga.
Gonzaga. Okay, so who do you pick on each side?
Okay. Who do we got?
So you got North Carolina taking on
Kentucky.
Not Kentucky, the other team now afterwards. Oregon. Yeah.
And then Gonzaga and Florida.
Oh, you're picking
I picked
right.
Florida.
Yeah.
Well, obviously Gonzaga's
Gonzaga
gonna
on
win.
that side. So yeah, that's your pick.
And then with Oregon and North Carolina, that's gonna be a good game. But I'm gonna have to go with North Carolina.
Okay.
Not only because they're first seed, but Oregon won't be able to sustain themselves for this long. They've been
good.
They've been really good. They've been good.
They've been really good.
But how long does that go on for?
Yeah,
you
that's
gotta
fair.
get tired eventually, right?
Yeah. You never know. Anyway, so yeah, but we know about your picks in general. I don't know if they're really reputable picks overall. Am I right? Like, let's talk fantasy. Let's talk about fantasy, Zan.
Let's not.
So Zan and I, for our listeners, Zan and I are in the same fantasy league, and it's round 1 of the playoffs. And Zan and I are facing off. Zan, you want to read out the score real quick?
All right.
What's the score?
It's okay, man. It's okay. I'll pull out the score. Pull out the score,
right bro. It's bad. It is bad for this guy right now. It's game over. GG.
GG.
It's game over for this guy, man.
Well, I kind of gave up towards the end, but
okay, relax, buddy. Relax.
The score
I still saw him making moves throughout the week, like trying to get optimize the schedule where he would try to get guys.
1704.
1704
to 1278.
And which team is 1704?
My team. Nah, your team.
Team Instant Replay.
Yeah.
That's right. Team Instant Replay representing. That's what I'm talking about. 1704, and we've got today left. He's knocked out. I'm in the finals, baby. I'm in the finals of the playoffs.
This frustrated me so much because I have LeBron, Kyrie, DeRozan, players like these on my team, right? And to see the notification, it was close. I was up by 200 at one point, at the end of the first week, and to see the notification of LeBron, Kyrie sitting out, and I was just like, ah.
Yeah, but that's Kevin Love sat out for me too.
Yeah, but Kevin Love versus LeBron and Kyrie.
Yeah,
right?
But don't you think the mistake you made was to not pick up Kevin Love?
I literally was 2 days away from picking him up.
Why'd you wait 2 days?
Because I didn't know how long he was gonna be.
Doesn't matter, bro. If it's playoffs, 2 days. If there's any signs right now, I mean, hopefully Muhammad doesn't hear this, but right now I'm looking into KD.
Okay.
Because there's signs that he's practicing.
Yeah,
he's practicing
I saw
right
that
now.
he started dribbling and stuff.
Exactly. So if he's in the market, I might pick him up just for the,
I gotta show him this podcast now.
Yeah. Let's not tell him that. So the guy I'm gonna be facing is gonna be coming up next week. He has Giannis leading his way, and I don't know. I don't know if he's Gordon Hayward.
Let's talk about his team. He has Giannis, and he has Horford, he has Millsap, and he has Seth Curry.
So that's irrelevant. Okay.
But
then you read my lineup. Read my lineup, bro. Read my lineup. It's
got
like a tank. It's like
Chris
a
Paul, James Harden, Butler.
Yeah, I'm about to rap.
Vucevic,
Yeah.
Booker. Let's talk about Booker.
Oh, 70 points. What do you think about that?
I was blown away. It was
stupid, in my opinion. It was amazing, but stupid.
I agree because they lost that game.
Blown out
was
the right term. Like Isaiah Thomas said it the best. He's like, I can't take anything away from him. He was shooting incredible, but he's like, I've never been part of a team where they would still down 20 be calling timeouts. You know what I mean? To run up plays for Devin Booker, and they would be fouling with 15 seconds left, down 15. They would be fouling. It didn't make sense. But yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's impressive shooting night. He's 20 years old.
How old was Kobe when he put up 81? Do you know?
Oh no,
Kobe was.
I think he was in his 20s.
It was 2006. I remember that.
It was 2006.
Yeah.
Let's backtrack. So he's 37 when he retired in 2016. 27.
27.
Around 27, 28. Yeah, let's say that.
Yep. 27.
Yeah. So he's 27 years old. Okay, this guy's put up 70 points when he was 20.
But 27, look at Kobe. That's his prime, right?
That's his prime.
And Devin Booker's new league.
Not in his prime yet.
You never know what can happen.
Kind of scary, man, if he gets better at shooting.
Yeah.
Phoenix is in good
That's
hands.
the future, I'm telling you.
That's the future of Phoenix.
It is.
Yeah. Let's see what happens, man.
Yeah.
I'm excited about the NCAA championship, to be quite honest.
Right.
I think tonight's going to be a great game. I think going forward, the Final Four is going to be exciting. So you got Gonzaga. You still got a horse in the race. My horse is gone. So I'm
Bulldogs.
gonna jump on the next bandwagon I can with North Carolina and see what happens there. But man, it's been an exciting tournament.
It has, for sure. It's like upsets here, upsets there.
Yeah.
Definitely keeping everybody who's watching entertained.
Yeah, totally. All right. Well, hopefully this was entertaining for you.
Yeah, it was.
Joining
for sure.
us.
Yeah.
And I know you're a big Toronto Raptors fan, so we'll have you on board for Toronto Raptors. Quick thoughts on Toronto Raptors, how they're doing right now?
Well, they're killing it after All-Star break. They're in the I think first.
We don't
or
have Lowry
second.
yet.
We don't have Lowry. Yeah, it's just Corey Joe running it, man.
Okay, who do you think wins in a fight, Serge Ibaka or Robin Lopez? Go.
Serge Ibaka. I almost
All
said
day?
Robin Lopez, but
All
Serge
day?
yeah, he's from Africa, man. You can't diss him.
Straight up. You can't mess with those players.
That's it, man.
Straight up.
He'll run up on you with his lions.
Yeah. Okay. Straight from the motherland. All right. Well, Zenu, thank you for coming on to the podcast. We really appreciate
My pleasure.
you.
Enjoy being here.
I apologize in advance for knocking you out tonight from the playoffs on our fantasy league. But you still got a horse in the race, and NCAA March Madness is still the exciting moments are still yet to come.
Yeah, for sure. Gonzaga, just everybody wait on Gonzaga. Gonzaga's have a big year this year.
Let's see what happens. All right, guys. Well, that was our episode this week. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Zan stepped in last minute for us and, basically talked about the March Madness. We talk about this all the time, me and him, and it was great having him in the studio. All right, guys. Talk to you guys later.
Peace out.